Mysterio is really hitting right now. As this nigga passed me the stick.
Chill.
Cannabis Connection in the house.
420 boys in the building.
For the Extreme Retro Review for Monday Night Raw.
Woo! Welcome to my world, everybody.
February 24th, 1997. 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 52 seconds for those who have the coveted, illustrious, highly elusive tape trader edition of Monday Night Raw in 1997, like I do, for Extreme Retro Review number 254. My partner in crime via the WWE Network is going to give you his thoughts and views as well as the time from that streaming service.
Well, the one thing I can guarantee about the Monday Night Raw Tape Trader show is that it was probably 10 times better than any ECW Tape Trader show. For the simple reason, millions and millions of people watched Monday Night Raw as opposed to the 3 people who was watching ECW and recording the tapes and shit. So on that note, I can I'll give you a little bit of props on that, because normally the Tape Trader shows are trash and they should come with a Surgeon General's warning. With that being said, Monday Night Raw on the WWE Network, I guess they shaved 4 minutes off of what you had going on, because ours clocked in at 1 hour and 29 minutes. So as I'm getting ready to review the show, you know, I watched the WWE Network on my PlayStation 4. So I go into the app and go to 1997. It starts at the end of the year and shit. So they have a screenshot for each show. So
yes.
I'm seeing Stone Cold. I'm seeing The Rock.
Yes.
I'm seeing The Undertaker.
Yes.
I'm seeing Bret Hart and
yes.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And instantly, I didn't get to the February 24th show yet, but instantly, the first thing I thought in my brain was like, these ECW goofs have no business on Monday Night Raw. And then it's confirmed when I get to the February 24th show because the screenshot is of Taz. So I'm going from Psycho Sid and Shawn Michaels to motherfucking Taz. And I mark for Taz. Don't get me wrong. Like, when I watch these shows, Taz is probably my favorite nigga on here right now.
But he doesn't belong on Monday Night Raw.
He has no business being on Monday Night Raw. So once they got the Taz, I felt validated for my normal first impression. I'm going to sprinkle in my overall thoughts of the show as we go and shit, because I think if you hold that part in there that I knew these niggas didn't belong, the show confirms it, so I'm just going to sprinkle in a little color as you do your thing.
So I've never seen this show because I was watching Nitro and I wasn't flipping back and forth yet. So I was NWO for life. Please forgive me.
Real quick, and I almost forgot, because February 24th was my brother's birthday, because I don't remember this show either. So that means I was probably out. We was probably out to eat or something, celebrating this little nigga's birthday and shit. So I missed it too. So this was also my first time, and I'm glad I missed it.
I've heard about it on documentaries and all the like, but that's usually the winners revising history.
Of course.
The following are the facts of what happened, and I might tally how much ECW is involved in this show.
Oh, nice.
So a little shoot backstory. The top guys are drawing overseas because they can't draw in America. So that's where, you know, Bret Hart's talking about how he draws so big in Germany. The German fans love him and shit. The European fans love him and shit because they were still like, you know, 3 or 4 years behind. So they were still like, you know, in all of these new generation motherfuckers. Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, you know, saying WCW is like pushing the envelope. ECW is pushing the envelope. So all the big guys, they're drawing overseas. Paul has a pay-per-view to hype. Vince needs talent. He's already paying for the talent. Either sending them down to AAA ball or bringing them up to give them goofy-ass gimmicks. So this is a little symbiosis. So Vince is effectively letting the AAA ball guys star in the major leagues for a shot to shield their big show in the first quarter of 1997. We start off with the Fink.
Yes. Oh, man. So, rest in peace.
Your thoughts of Fink? Let's just go.
Man, just real quick on the Fink. Like, you cannot... Well, okay. I cannot think of a championship call. Like I've imaginary in my head won the WWF title probably 2 billion times and shit. And every time announcing my name, and new World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion. You know what I'm saying? It's the motherfucking Fink. And I don't even like impersonating the Fink because I can't do it no justice or shit. But to me, he is the nigga that I want announcing my victory over some shit. Hands down, nobody else comes close.
They're in the Manhattan Center, but strangely, it looks like a lot of people, just the way they set it up. But I know there's like 500, maybe 1,000 tops. But it sounds like a lot of people. Vince runs down the card. Jerry Lawler is burying ECW off top. Vince says that the ECW and the E stands for extreme. Moving on. We start off with Godwin's versus the New Blackjacks, represented by Bradshaw and Barry Windham.
Ooh, if I was watching this in 97, I would have flicked right to Nitro.
Hillbillies versus Cowboys in New York City.
And these niggas got dyed. Like, no one's hair is that black and shit. So they got these jet black porn star mustaches and shit. Like, motherfucker, where did Magnum P.I. come from and form a tag team with itself and shit?
Quick brawl that settles into a tag match. Ken Shamrock from the Ultimate Fighting Championship is in the crowd. And the King keeps talking about how he knows him. They know each other and shit. Hogs in Peril. Hot Tag Pig. House of Fire in a sleeper hole, and I almost doze off. But Wyndham ducks, and Pig gets the clothesline from hell for the win. Done. Talk to me about this match, H-Dub.
Clothesline from hell that made me raise my eyebrow and shit because I was playing solitaire on my phone while I was watching this. To be honest and shit, I saw the clothesline from hell. I was like, cool. But the best part is the post-match, in my opinion.
So Pig's foot was on the rope during the pinfall. They start arguing with the ref. A second ref comes in, and they're protesting like, "Hey, man, the refs call us final and shit."
Hell yeah.
Hog and Pig are pushing them around. One motherfucking ref powders. Fucking second ref gets pushed around. He powders, but then he runs into Pig. Then he gets slopped. Then this motherfucker starts doing the hilarious pratfalls and shit. Like every time he tries to take a step, he slips and falls again. I bumped it up to a 1.
Yeah, that easily the best part of the match.
We get a quick WWF commercial for Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hector Macho Camacho. Moving on. We come back to the Eliminators hitting telegraphed elimination on some ring crew plant. And I see my first ECW bit. Paulie storms the ring and accepts the challenge from Jerry the King Lawler because ECW is in the house. Talk to me, H-Dub, about about this bullshit.
I noticed the BWO shirts in the crowd and shit, so I was like, okay. They must be in this little ass center and shit, so they could showcase the 6 ECW fans and shit. I'm like, that's what's up. And then the Eliminators, yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Eliminators. They're out with the Intercontinental titles and shit.
You're right. We're like 2 Intercontinental titles.
And then they do my favorite tag team finishing move of all time on some dweeb who's holding his head before they even start to do it and shit. And I'm like, this is like, oh my, even though Cronus and Saturn eventually do end up in WCW, like watching this shit makes me wonder how. Cause like first, if y'all gonna have them on the show, they should at least insisted for their own person to take the total elimination. Cause whatever dweeb that they just said, oh hey, come here real quick, and he's scared to get fucked up and shit. And it just, I don't know. It would turned into
Bush League.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I just knew ECW was in for a long night.
Paulie then announces the next match consisting of Little Guido versus Big Stevie Cool with the BWO, consisting of Blue Meanie, Hollywood Nova, and 311 or whatever Rob Feinstein's name is.
They get the opportunity to be on Monday Night Raw to pitch their first pay-per-view, and they're having a mid-card match on motherfucking prime time.
King is in complete burial mode, and I completely concur. They have a regular match.
Regular as fuck. AF.
Raven then comes out, poses over Stevie. Paul Lee is on color and calls him the David Koresh of pro wrestling. Comeback Stevie kick for the win. Goldust did a couple of inset promos during the match. Dud. H-Dub, talk to me about the match.
The only thing I wondered was that a new belt that Raven had when he came out. Was
yes.
That, okay. Yeah. Outside of that, that's all I really thought. I was turned off at the mere concept that this is what they went with and shit.
Complete Bush League. New York fans are eating this shit up. I have no idea why.
Why not have Sabu? They could have put Sabu in that match. And it's since, you know what I'm saying, they having squash matches. Why not just have motherfucking Sabu out there in a 6-7 minute squash?
We have Sonny cutting a 10-second promo on Marlena, hyping their arm wrestling match later on. It was awesome. Moving on. We have the Honky Tonk Man coming out to be the special guest referee for the arm wrestling deal. He brings out Sonny in a robe, and the crowd is going apeshit for her. She says, cut the music, cuts a ravishing Rick Rude promo, and completely hams it up for the fucking fans. They eat all this shit up. Sonny, no matter how much I can't stand her and she no-sold me, she is the fucking GOAT. Franny's on her way, but at this point right now, Sonny is completely, she has everything. Talk to me about Sonny.
Yeah, she does. So, I can see why, as far as like just whatever she needed to do, like if she needed to be a cheerleader or if she needed to be a dickish heel, like Sonny was a motherfucking beast at it, and she looked good doing it. So now, not so much. I did watch her porno and shit, and why couldn't you have did this in 97.
So Marlena comes out and her outfit is completely god-awful. She slowly comes out and they do the recaps of her getting thrashed and handled by Chyna. Then this unnamed woman. Sonny then cuts another promo explaining the hows and whys and says she'll give Marlena the option to forfeit the arm wrestling match due to her getting beat up by this unnamed beast of a woman. Terry, looking awful, calls Sonny a hooker.
Yeah.
And accepts the challenge. Says there's going to be no forfeit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Honky Tonk Man then grabs the mic and explains the rules in the most lecherous way that you can to explain to women, quote unquote, doing an arm wrestling match.
Go ahead, Honky.
Sunny's got her ass all poked out and shit.
Oh man, she know how to do it.
Terry's selling, her back and her ribs and shit. So she's, in a precarious position and shit, grabbing the table and shit. Sunny then heels it up 2 times. The first time she gives a Ric Flair strut and says, woo! Third time Marlena pulls back. Sunny does the big super heel, saying, "Yeah, you need to get ready." Honky Tonk Man says if you pull back one more time, you're gonna lose by forfeit.
Disqualified. Like, ain't that a bitch?
This is awesome. They do the whole deal, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until Sunny, from her boot,
A la your mentor.
pulls out some powder, throws it in her face. She calls down Caribbean legend Savio Vega, and he's leering at Marlena, and he's trying to, he's staring her down, about to beat her ass, give her a knuckle massage
To the face.
Goldust makes the save, and then they start their match. HW, your thoughts of the segment?
Shout out to Marlena, because do you remember when she was in a neck brace?
No.
She was in a golden neck brace. Yes! I just wanted you to picture it.
Might have to cross the dimensional positron and have to watch that.
Marlena's a beast and shit, and her fake titties were enjoyable to look at, because not all fake titties are made the same and shit, but she had a nice set of fake titties and shit. Overall, as for it being an eye candy segment and shit, Marlena's outfit was trash. I don't know why she picked a leotard with the motherfucking...
She looked like one of them exercise bitches from the 80s.
Yeah, and that was a very poor choice.
Sweating to the oldies or some shit.
But this is, I just want to say, having 2 niggas just start into a fight and then transition into a match is a terrible way to transition into a match.
Goldust with Terry versus Savio Vega with Crush. We have Miguel Perez Jr. on color, a.k.a. Spanish Tommy Dreamer. Faith No More guys in the crowd. And holy shit, why is Miguel Perez talking so much during this match?
He has a lot to say.
Why is all the Nation of Domination out here?
Why are they all white?
It's like King is reading my mind because he's saying the same thing. The entire nation, except for Rook, is out there, and then he hits 2 nerve holds to slow down the match, being Savio Vega. Who the fuck is Sonny cheering for? Ken Shamrock looks lost as shit. Savio Vega then slaps Goldust's ass to revive him. Goldust then responds by kissing him and pushing him off the second rope. And I must note that homoerotica has always been in professional wrestling. This Sunny Kiss shit that's in AEW right now is not the brand new funk. You know what I'm saying? It is a continuation of the gorgeous Georges, of the exotic Adrian Streets, of the adorable Adrian Adonises, the Goldusts, and now here we are with the Sunny Kiss. This shit has always been prevalent in professional wrestling. Stop deluding yourself, nerds.
I guess I got in when it had taken a little break, but it wasn't that long of a break because Johnny B. Bad was right there in the 90s and shit.
This match takes forever and ends in a DQ.
Yeah, why?
Negative infinity. We come back with a heel beatdown. Spanish Tommy Dreamer comes in for the save. HW, you're taking a match.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. I hate that. I was never a Goldust fan, cause to each his own and shit. But I don't like watching that gay shit. I'm just gonna I don't hate nobody, but I don't want to see that shit. That shit is revolting.
We come back with a replay of the recently deceased Tiny Tim with his ukulele, and the King is burying him I must note that the King is saving this show for me with his color commentary tonight.
Oh, definitely.
We come back with King at ringside with Ken Shamrock for a little bit of interview time. He looks like a complete Neanderthal, and he has no clue who King is when they do their little back and forth. LOL. He is so dull, I don't know if this shit is a work. Talk to me.
Well, in hindsight, you know it's definitely a shoot because Ken Shamrock has the personality of a shamrock. And unfortunately, not the 4-leaf one, because people get excited to see those. So the 3-leaf one is like, oh, shit.
Oh, that shit that be with your crabgrass and shit.
The best thing about him, though, is that he was a legitimate... He was a legitimate fighter and a legitimate champion. But outside of that, like if he was just some nigga off the street.
Moron.
Yeah.
Call 1-900-737-SLAM to vote for your 1997 Slammy Award for Best Finisher. They include Sweet Chin Music from Shawn Michaels, The Wild Thing from Wild Man Mark Romero, The Stone Cold Stunner from Steve Austin, The Psycho Sid Powerbomb, and The Sharpshooter from Bret Hart. All for 99 cents a minute. Fuck that shit. We come back to Paul Lee sitting on the railing talking about, has this show sucked without ECW or what? This show has sucked with ECW. We got Mikey Wickflip versus Taz. Taz alongside of Team Taz and Bill Alfonso. Paul's on ring announcing. Paul goes into shilling overdrive, bringing Taz out, saying that he's going to be one half of the main event on April 13th, 1997 at Barely Legal. Speaking of shilling, did you see Mikey Wickflip's t-shirt? Did you notice it?
I didn't notice.
You know, usually he has the maxi print t-shirts with Magneto or the Silver Surfer or Galactus and shit. Not this time. This time, this nigga had a black t-shirt with every ECW logo on it. This nigga had a fusion of the barbed wire logo. He had experienced the difference on the back. On the shoulder, it had Hardcore Cafe. Holy shield hot stuff.
That's what they brought him there for, to shield and the job. Why do you have your job or shield, though?
Paul and King bicker back and forth throughout the entire match. I couldn't even register what was going on. I just knew it was a complete squidash from Taz. Nothing gets called the entire time. They do a Farouk inset promo, a.k.a. Ron Simmons, former ECW alum, calling out Ahmed Johnson for being a sissy with no friends. Sadly, there's no balding spot or no Jerry curl Ron Simmons. This is Nation of Domination Ron Simmons with the low Sherman Helmsley. Shout out to 1994 hot stuff. You get better.
Appreciate that.
After the fucking inset promo, Sabu's on the R and he falls off.
Oh, yeah.
Onto Team Taz, completely no-sells it. And then Taz fucking botches an overhead Tazplex on Mickey Wickflip, which fucking Vince says, who? Paul is going crazy, putting Sabu over, telling the director to keep the cam, you know what I'm saying, on those guys, while Taz does this head nod Tazplex on Mikey Wickwreck. Vince says, what was that? Paul says, it's a head and arm Tazplex. It's the one move that Ken Shamrock even fears. Vince completely laughs, no sells it, and says, I would say all that.
Is Vince not a fan of the head and arm Tazplex?
This nigga no-sold everything they did the entire match. From the botch spot to Sabu falling off the R and no-selling it. It was hilarious. Mikey Wickflip jobs to the Taz mission. Vince then calls Mikey Mickey So from henceforth, he will be now known as Mickey Wickflip. Mickey Wickflip. Taz then talks shit to King.
Oh man, just real quick, just to put a little respect on Taz's botched name after this shit. He did finish Mikey off with the Kata Hajime. I just need to get that in and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it took me a long time to learn how to say that and shit. But yeah, man, that shit was lightweight embarrassing. All of that. And like they would have been better off just, like I said, putting Sabu in a match earlier instead of him falling off the goddamn R. And then, and then, like you said, he no-sold it and shit. So apparently they had some shit planned out, and so he kind of had to keep it going. But goddamn, like Taz, he already was a fucking midget coming to the ring and shit. And then they put him in the ring. They should have put him in the ring with Paul Varlins again. They should have drug up Paul Varlins. They could have maybe had Ken Shamrock call him, you know what I'm saying? And then he can job the Taz on Monday Night Raw. At least that would have been, it would have seemed like worth watching.
The 1997 Slammy Awards will be brought to you by Full Metal, the album.
Yeah, I had that.
Moving on.
Yeah. What you mean that's all? Just real quick, Full Metal was all, or not all, but like 13 of your favorite WWF superstars' theme musics and shit. And nigga, I used to rock out to The Undertaker for like 2 hours straight and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just rolling my eyes on the back of my head in my room and shit.
We have Headbangers versus a mystery opponent who are the returning Legion of Doom.
Oh, man.
Talk about this Road Warrior pop-hot stuff. This shit, now it's 1,000 people in the Manhattan Center. But goddamn, they are going insane for these motherfuckers. It's 97. This is literally the last time this shit is going to happen, because after this, the LOD go down. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got, Hulk is the junkie. You got Droz. You know what I'm saying? You know, the motherfuckers end up, going to TNA for a hot spell and Hulk dies. You know what I mean? But this is literally like their last big pop and shit. You know what I mean? Maybe the LOD 2000 thing may have worked initially at WrestleMania 14, but literally this is it before the whole fan base just shifts in their mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like the cartoonish superhero is done. Like this is the last vestige of this shit. And I'm like, damn, this is crazy. This is not going to work like 6 months from now.
Damn. They was going crazy, and I legit popped when I heard, oh, what a rush. And just like the 500 niggas in the Playhouse Theater or wherever they at.
Caribou houses.
You know what I'm saying? I was raising the roof right with they motherfuckers.
Like I said, Road Warrior Pop, nothing like it. I must note, a lot of ECW alumni in the building tonight. Ron Simmons.
Yes.
The Street Vigilante Hawk.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The Headbangers, a.k.a. the Spiders.
Oh, shit.
Extreme Retro Review number 1.
I forgot. You're welcome.
We got a quick Nitro Sucks chant. These niggas went 10 minutes and bored me to death. These niggas got extreme, and the ref called for the double DQ. Headbangers still get the Doomsday Device.
Oh, man, yeah, it was downhill after Oh, What a Rush.
I was a fan of none of this.
Yeah, and it's understandable because I don't even understand why the Headbangers would be facing for it to end in a motherfucking double count out and shit to begin with, because that shit don't even make sense.
These niggas just came back. You saw these niggas pop like shit. Why don't you sustain that with a quick goddamn squash? Why do you go goddamn 10 minutes? You call the audible on the fly. See where you can go. See if you can milk them for a little bit more pennies.
Guy Hawk selling and shit.
Like goofs.
Yeah,
like goofs.
You know what I'm saying?
They shield the 900 number during the match. Talked about ECW for the first half of the match. These niggas cannot be bothered. Why should I? Moving on. So we come back with the video for Tell Me a Lie. The whole Shawn Michaels tribute video where this nigga lost his smile and relinquished the WWF title. You know what I'm saying? I've never actually seen the video, to begin with. So, the song's cheesy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, that the zipline entrance of WrestleMania 12 is probably the first most iconic entrance of all WrestleManias. Like, to me, like the 12 entrance on the zip line, followed closely by the glass shattering on 13. Those are like the first real WrestleMania entrances and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Hulk Hogan, coming down at WrestleMania 3, to coming down the long stretchway because, he ain't got no cart and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. You know what I'm saying? That is iconic as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But the zip line joint is like, yo, that's next level shit. And I must say, that's like the first smatter, because I never was really a Shawn Michaels fan until he came back. And then, because the first one I was like, rockers. I see. Click shit. Lost my smile. You know what I'm saying? The second run was like Jordan coming back. They're like, oh! It made me appreciate everything, you know what I'm saying? So the zip line spot is always something that's in my head like, yo, that's super dope.
Oh shit! Can I get a splash of Mysterio? Just a little
top off.
Yeah, just a little something to get me through the rest of the segment, cause shit's awesome. Oh shit! For the 0 subscribers subscribers on Street Smart Video, the food just blessed me with some Mysterio. I asked for a splash, and he said, "Be blessed, my nigga." So I appreciate that. But just real quick, I just want to say something. Like when it comes to, because I was about to ask you about WrestleMania 6 Hogan and Warrior and shit. Then I was like, from a visually striking point of view, like Shawn Michaels shit is just like. And then, like 13, like you said, the motherfucking glass shatter and Austin coming through.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more after that, but those were the first ones that really resonated with me. Like I said, Hogan walking down 3 when everybody else was on carts and shit. You know what I'm saying? That is dope as fuck. I ain't gonna front. You know what I'm saying? Also, WrestleMania shit. It's like it's simple, but that's a long goddamn walk, and he's pointing. He's he doing his Hogan thing. He posing. You know what I'm saying? That is fire.
American plan and shit.
Yeah, the whole crowd is swelling up, whether it's 78 or 93,000, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? They going ape shit. It's dark. The lights is going off. That's a spectacle.
And can't nobody milk a motherfucker reaction like the immortal Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Nah.
From even back then to, you know what I'm saying, and all good things come to an end, so I do understand after a while it became passé for some people and shit, but the next closest person I can think of probably is The Rock. When it comes to just feeling the crowd and just
definitely
rolling with something that needs to be.
I throw Shawn Michaels up there as well. You know what I'm saying? He's probably on tier 2, tier 3, but he's definitely up there as far as milking the crowd and letting that shit sink in and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh man, who's your daddy, Montreal?
Oh yeah. Who's your daddy, Montreal? Shout out to HBK.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Coming back with Devon Dudley, with Sign God Dudley versus American Tommy Dreamer.
Talk about a wet blanket. We was having a great conversation, so we went back to the show.
Tommy Dreamer always with Beulah. They go extreme around ringside. King is just slicing this match up on color commentary. King and Putz go back and forth. King calls Paul a jock sniffer.
Get him, King!
Sign guy interferes to get the heat and attacks Beulah. They put her in the ring. Tommy then drops a chair. There's an inset shot of Taker looking like, what the fuck?
Oh, man, of all the times to cut to The Undertaker, even in 97.
Taker, who is badly mic'd, talks over the finish, which is a mule dick kick by Beulah DDT onto a chair by Tommy Dreamer for the win. Dad, talk to me.
Best part about this match was the King and shit, just completely, because like he was waiting for the hardcore shit and shit, because before that he was talking about how ECW was being on good behavior, because normally they setting people on fire and some poor idiot is getting thrown through glass. You know what I'm saying? So when they finally went hardcore and shit, and for King to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, to be like, I told you so and shit, basically.
Man,
That was the best part.
when King and Lawler were here in Cleveland, when me and Wifey went to go see him and do their little set routine and shit, I wanted to ask this nigga about the ECW invasion so fucking bad. But they had all these fucking mark questions. They were either plants or they were talking about the screw job, they were talking about Owen Hart, they were talking about King of the Ring. Okay. That was the three things they talked about. I said, this is a set thing. That's it. I said, they can't talk about nothing for real. And they sniffed the smark in the building and shit and was like, nah. Yeah. This nigga about to ask us some real bullshit. Right. We ain't ready for that.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to answer the Vince about this shit.
Taker then keeps talking about Sid at WrestleMania 13 for the WWF title. Who cares? Bubba hits the ring, 3D on putts. Sandman comes out with the squally and the beer. He turns around and gets flopped into the ring like an idiot. King immediately then laughs and calls him an idiot.
I love it. And poor Sandman. You know what I'm saying? Like this was, again, like they have no business.
Bush League! Bush League!
They need to go back in the cross-dimensional gravitational positron and stay in ECW world. Because, yeah, they look like when your little cousins come over.
Vince is over here saying, the who? Kill me now. Sandman cleans house. He starts posing. Tommy Dreamer then poses, even though he got beat up. A-Dub talks to me. What are you posing for? You got your ass whipped.
Like he gets all this credit for being this great booker and great wrestling mind and shit. And like this, like please tell me like he had a death in the family and he just got back like literally this day and this was the plan that they handed him. Because how do you even let Sandman go? Like you don't say it like you. I thought he was like one of the top guys of the company and shit. So how do you even let? I feel like Jim Cornette and shit, where he sighs his like, you know, like what else is there to say? You know, what the fuck?
Since that was the last ECW match, Paul then thanks Vince while King is egging him on the entire time. Paul's fed up, so they have a little pull-apart sissy fight. Post-break, King calls out ECW once again. HW taking the sissy fight.
Oh, man, the sissy fight was a fucking waste of time. This whole night was a waste of time, to be honest with you. Except for LOD coming back, because that was the one time that I cheered. Oh, and when they showed the commercial for WWF Full Metal, the album, because of the nostalgia shit and all the times that I was posing and shit to Shawn Michaels shit, sexy boy and shit.
So we come back with Jim Ross narrating the WWF world title situation. Last week, Bret and Sid faced off. Austin runs in and attacks Bret Hart and clips Sid's knee. Earlier, Steve Austin attacked Bret backstage. The match went on. Bret has Sid in the sharpshooter, but Austin chairs Bret, leading to a Sid powerbomb for the win. Bret's getting all pissy backstage, pushing shit and cussing. You know, get out! The fuck out of here! Fuck, I tell you! What is all the boots? Meanwhile, Psycho Sid and Undertaker is at WrestleMania 13. Bret and Austin in an I Quit match at WrestleMania 13. Also, Ahmed Johnson will respond to Farouk's challenge? And will he or won't he from Ahmed Johnson? Talk to me.
Oh man, yeah, they should have led off with that, cause especially like Undertaker and Psycho Sid didn't turn out to be all that great, but leading into it, like it looked like it should have been a good ass match and shit. So
At least it was good on the marquee.
yeah, it was exactly. And then now we waiting to hear, and obviously, and I don't know if it's obvious. Ahmed Johnson was the face, so what was he gonna say? I decline your challenge, Farouk.
Goobity goobity goo.
You know what I'm saying? So clearly he was gonna say yes. So you don't even gotta.
Yeah, why do you end with that? You lead with that.
Exactly.
So we got Todd Pederast with Ken Shamrock.
Oh, shit, that's twice.
He introduces his family, his wife who has laryngitis, and his father. King starts burying him, so he starts laughing. I start laughing. Shamrock picks Undertaker in the match versus Sid at WrestleMania 13, and he says it's a complete toss-up between Bret and Austin, which King on a second shot is reacting to hilariously. King owns this entire segment from the inset shot. Talk to me.
And this is hindsight, clearly speaking of shit, especially with this nigga ending up becoming the special guest referee for that particular match and shit. But I thought it was interesting that he would give the answer that he can't pick a winner. So it made me think that the WrestleMania plan, and what's this, February? And so those plans would have had to be in the works then for him to have all this TV time. Okay.
Definitely.
Just working it out as the smark in me and shit.
PG-13 wraps Farouk and the entire nation down to the ring. Farouk buries the UFC and calls Ken Shamrock out. Shamrock then cuts a promo. It's awful. Oh, yeah. Vince throws it to a La Femme Nikita spot.
Why?
Which was completely awful. WrestleMania 13 is brought to you by the PlayStation 1.
Talk about a blast from the motherfucking past. As you, the PlayStation 5 is all the rage right now.
Farouk with the Nation versus The Undertaker.
And the Black Crushed Velvet.
2 full minutes of The Undertaker's entrance. Big shine. Outside interference by the Nation for the heat. Long heat spot. Come back until the Nation run in for the DQ. Legion of Doom try to even up the odds, but we're out of time. Thank you and good night. Thank God. Thank God.
It was kind of weird, or not weird, but it was funny seeing Teardrop crush Velvet Undertaker, because it's probably my least favorite iteration of his personas.
That nigga was a baby, regardless. That nigga looked like a baby. I said, holy shit. He's 7 years in at this point. Still, it seemed like, he's a grizzled vet. He's obviously locker room leader at this point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But looking at him, it's like, God damn. Like I said, I said offline and shit, I said, this nigga was doing school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't old school. It wasn't new school. It was school.
You know what I'm saying? And it just, I don't know, super soft looking material on his outfit and shit. I don't understand. I just hate the crushed Velvet Undertaker. It drives me crazy, Fuge. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And then, so the International Nation of Domination and shit. Because you got Puerto Ricans, you got whites. The only nigga that I seen outside of Farouk was the still flunky mode D'Lo Brown and shit with his home haircut. There was no fade in his motherfucking box and shit. Like, it was just box, and then it was just, you know, said number one guard and shit.
See that ball right there?
Yeah. Yeah. Like damn, like that. Ron, you couldn't send your boy to the barber shop or something, or did they? Now I have to watch the Raw before that to see if D'Lo was there, because maybe that was D'Lo's first day and they just found him on the street like they did the nigga who took the total elimination earlier and shit.
Overall, this show sucked with WWF and ECW. But listen to the King. Just everything King involved. Just, that's it. King on color. This is classic King. Outside of that, ECW Invasion Mach 1 is a failure. And on that note, we come back to the land of the extreme with the February 27th, 1997 show. But until then, always know life is a work, so make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.